What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are filming a deadline week as a third year architecture student. So sit back, relax and enjoy. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gents. Welcome back to a brand new video. Before we kick the week off, before we kick the video off, I want to do one thing. And that is to get a haircut. That was a naughty transition as well. So this morning I've pretty much spent the whole morning doing bits and bobs. I've been driving Becca around, she's had problems with her car, so take her to the car dealership, etc. So far this morning I haven't actually done any work, but welcome to deadline week. This is the third year edition, so I haven't done deadline week in a long time, and this is my portfolio handing, which is going to be in on Thursday. Portfolio submission consists of a blind pin-up and a portfolio book, so we're not doing A2s anymore. This is an actual book being published. I'm getting it properly bind. So it's going to be like a hardback book at an A4 size, and that's going to be printed by Wednesday. So by Thursday we need to be pinning up our work and handing in a book. Okay, so day one is going to consist of me kind of doing a lot of planning out the week, planning out what's going to happen in the next few days. So it's really important to start my week with writing a to-do list. So I do this at the start of pretty much every single week, and I do this at the start of pretty much every single day. And this is a really good way to kind of plan myself out for the day, make sure I'm getting things done, make sure I'm not forgetting anything, etc. So knowing my pin-up is on Thursday and I need to get that done before Wednesday to get it printed, I've started to create a storyboard. So storyboards are really, really important in roughly outlining kind of how the work's going to look like on the wall. So the most important part of my pin-up is to create a story. You really need to engage the viewer, draw them into your work, and you really do want to create a story from the site, from your research, right all the way through your process into your final design. So what I tend to do is plan out everything that I need to include for the presentation, roughly start storyboarding this out using tracing paper, and this is really important in roughly outlining where pieces could go on the presentation, what pieces could work well next to each other, what rotation they need to be, what size they need to be, and then from this you can go into some more detail, go into InDesign and really start creating the story and putting together the presentation board. Morning, ladies and gents. Today we're heading back to uni. So let's do it. Good morning, ladies and gents. Yesterday was predominantly a day of planning, so just sorting myself out, rearranging some panels, kind of planning out what I'm going to do in the next few days. So today is now Tuesday, it's the following day, and I need to head back to uni. So I'm going to head back to uni today. I'm probably going to get back there for about 1 o'clock. I'm meeting Jacob there, and then I'm going to spend the whole day at uni, kind of doing all my work. I want to do a sketch, so I want to do a big drawing, and then I want to put some bits of painting on there. I want to have bits of models coming out of it. So that is what I'm going to try and start today, and I also need to get my whole board pin-up finished today because I need to get it printed tomorrow, and then tomorrow obviously I'm going to drive back to Nottingham and pick up my book. So today I need to pack up everything, take it back to university, and then get to uni for 1 o'clock. Okay, so yesterday you would have seen me roughly planning out what I was going to put up for my pin-up, how I was going to roughly arrange some of my work, what I was going to include in my presentation. So include some of my process, maybe include some of the research, some models that I've got, and then obviously the final form, some visuals, maybe some diagrams, some plans, site plans to show a bit of context. And I've now spent a bit of time on InDesign, doing some more storyboarding to kind of plan out what is going on, and this is kind of where I'm at the moment. So as you can see here, I've left a strip along the top which I'm going to include with a bit of research. This is my process work down each side here, and then this is going to be kind of like the centerpiece. This is going to be a big drawing which I've got for pretty much is going to be in a frame, which I'll show you in a minute. This is going to be some more diagrams to show my process, and then this is going to be actually a strip of models which I've already done. This is the model I already have, and then these are going to be visualizations within photo frames, and then these are going to be some diagrams in photo frames as well, and then we'll have a strip of site plans along the bottom. So this model here is actually that one there. So I've just basically put a floor plan on there just so I roughly know the size, etc. But that model is basically what is going to be pinned up on the wall there. And then the drawing that I mentioned that would be in the middle is basically going to be sketched using this paper here, so this drawing paper, and then I'm going to frame it like literally in a photo frame, and that'll be placed kind of in the middle. So this is going to be kind of like the standout drawing. When people look at my board, they're going to kind of see this and think like wow, and then kind of gravitate themselves towards the board. And with presentations and pinups, you really do want like that wow drawing. You could make your whole presentation like a hybrid drawing, you could make the whole thing like the wow drawing, but for me, I don't like having too much confusing stuff on the wall. I like to have kind of shown the process, making it a little bit more simple to read. You don't want to overcomplicate all the stuff on the wall. So I like to show a little bit of the process and then have like one big wow drawing. And that's kind of like my method of doing it. So when we kind of pin up and everything, it's like I mentioned, I think I mentioned it's a blind pin up. So we're literally going to pin up our work. So this panel. We're going to leave our book there, and then we're literally just going to leave. So we don't have any time to talk about the work. We've already kind of done that with our final review 4 weeks ago. So this is like a full-on blind pin-up where we don't have the opportunity to talk about our work. So therefore it's really important for people to understand kind of what is going on. But then obviously you've got your portfolio there with you. That will hopefully explain the whole project. Is day 2 concluded. So this is, it's now 10 to 1 in the morning, so that is day 2 complete. So I pretty much spent the whole day planning out my presentation panel. So we basically have a board each which is 1.2 meters wide by 2.1 meters high, which fits exactly 2.5 A0 pages if you split up the whole board into one. So that's going to conclude day 2. I know it hasn't been a very exciting day, and to be honest, because we finished our portfolios last week, so me and Jacob finished our portfolios last Friday, because we had to leave 4 working days to get it printed properly. I haven't really had too much to do because I've had all the work done, everything's complete, and all I've had to do is just kind of rearrange it for kind of like the pin-up on Thursday. But tomorrow morning, me and Jacob getting up early, and we're going to be driving all the way back to Nottingham to collect our books, and that is going to be exciting. I cannot wait to see my book. It's going to be a hardback book, which I'm sure you'll see in the morning. So yeah, day 2 complete. Catch you tomorrow. You see that? That is the book and portfolio complete. I'll show you it when we get back home because they've wrapped it up all nicely. But really happy that the book is finally like printed, and we actually see like the final form of the portfolio kind of done in a nice format, rather than just looking at it like on a screen for the past like 3 months or so. So really happy that that's now printed. I'll show you when I get home, but we need to now head to Greg's and get some breakfast. So I actually completely forgot to film my book when I got home, and then when I went into uni to hand my work in, they didn't actually give us the portfolio back, so I don't actually have the portfolio to film. I'm going to briefly talk through the book and kind of explain my project in a little bit more detail. So as you can see, the title of my book is called Sequence, and to define sequence, it is a set of related events, movements, or items that follow each other in a particular order. So my whole project is basically based around the movement in the site, and I've interpreted this using film theory, meaning that I've read into Bernard Tschumi, and I've quoted that the question becomes whether one can organise architectural drawings as a movement sequence. So as you can probably already notice, my whole book is basically set out to be kind of like a movie. We've got the framing along the edges, we've got kind of like the startup menu instead of like a contents page, and then we've also got kind of like the play and pause buttons kind of throughout the book. And I've also broken down the book into episodes rather than chapters to kind of make it seem like a film, kind of make it seem like a series. And then the next book might be called The Sequel, which will obviously follow up from the sequence book. So this is just some general information about the brief, some information about the site, which I won't really cover too much because there's quite a lot of it. And then to dive into some actual film theory, so I analysed Bernard Tschumi and I analysed his process, and that was kind of like the key thing that I analysed about his work, and I kind of interpreted that in my own way. So Bernard Tschumi breaks down action into the event, the plan and the movement, and he kind of breaks it up into these kind of like frames, like these photos, and he breaks down movement into kind of like these individual moments, and he calls them like the events. And with that idea, I moved into breaking movement down into time, direction and speed, which I won't go into too much detail about because it's quite complicated and it's quite a confusing book. But I'm basically questioning the movement in the urban event. I'm following my research and my interest in kind of like film theory and film production. I aim to question the movement in the site and the urban events that take place. I've employed a rule that will allow me to monitor the movement within a frame, that will allow me to break down the movement into individual key frames and events.
I'm literally using the same one from last one.
This is a clip showing 2 broken males. Past 9, we are just currently leaving uni. A very productive day, very good day. We have got like the pin-up, like the board presentation all printed out and all pinned up, and we've just got to finish that kind of like centerpiece that will be in the frame. So I'm kind of sketching that, as you guys would have seen, and I'm going to have like models coming out of it. I'm going to have some acetate over the top, and then we're going to have like some more models. So that is the plan for tonight, to get that done. But other than that, we are completely done for our first portfolio hand-in of 3rd year. So throughout 3rd year, we've got 2 portfolio hand-ins. This is the first one, obviously, and then the second one is at the end of May. and that'll us be done for the year. That'll be us done for uni. That would be us graduating as a part 1 architectural assistant, because we're not actually architects yet. Deadline day, baby. That is the deadline complete, ladies and gents. I really hope you enjoyed the deadline week. That is the portfolio hand in and the blind pin-up completely done. So that is just done for a few days before the next module starts. So I was really happy with how my work kind of came out. I was really happy with how it looks on the board. And I also showcased some of the other students' work because everyone's work was absolutely unbelievable. And then we went on to treat ourselves to a lovely pint and a pizza.
Yay! No alcohol.
Straight vodka, actually. Victory.
Film my vegan ragu.
And that is the deadline complete. That's my portfolio submission and my blind pin-up completely done. So I've now got a couple of days between now and the next module, so I'm kind of making the most of relaxing and enjoying myself. So really hope you enjoyed the video. I tried to give you kind of like an insight as to what kind of other people are getting up to as well. And yeah, I kind of showed you the process of me setting up a pin-up, and I hope you found it useful in some way. So thank you as always for watching the video. Make sure you smash the button, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will see you next time. Peace.